Hello, everyone. Welcome to Daily Listening English. Today's lesson is about to begin. Let's learn, listen, and speak English together.
Many people believe that learning English is difficult. They think they need to study grammar for hours every day, memorize thousands of vocabulary words, or spend a lot of money on expensive courses. But the truth is very different. You don't need to study English for 5 or 6 hours a day. You only need 30 minutes. Yes, just 30 minutes. If you practice the right way, every single day, your English will improve step by step, without burning you out, without costing you anything. In today's video, I will show you a simple daily routine that anyone, anywhere in the world can follow. This routine has only 3 easy steps. Step 1, listen for 10 minutes. Step 2, read for 10 minutes. Step 3, speak for 10 minutes. That's it. Only 30 minutes a day. If you stay consistent, your confidence will grow, your vocabulary will increase, and speaking English will become much easier over time. But before I walk you through each step, I want to explain something important, something most learners never think about. These 3 steps are not 3 separate, unrelated tasks. They form one complete system, and each one feeds the next. Listening trains your ear to recognize sound. Reading trains your eyes and your brain to recognize patterns and structure. And speaking is where everything you absorbed finally comes out. Think of it like filling a cup and then pouring it. Listening and reading fill the cup. They put English into your brain. Speaking pours the cup out. It takes English out of your brain and turns it into real communication. If you only listen and read, the cup keeps filling, but nothing ever pours out, and your speaking stays weak. If you only try to speak without ever filling the cup first, you have nothing to pour, and you feel stuck, searching for words that were never given to you in the first place. This is exactly why so many learners study for years, but still freeze when they try to speak. They filled the cup, but they never practiced pouring it. The 30-minute routine fixes this, because it fills you up and empties you out every single day in one small, complete cycle. Now let's start with the first and most important step. Step 1, listen for 10 minutes every day. Friends, let me ask you another question. How does a baby learn to speak? Does a baby start by studying grammar rules? No. Does a baby memorize a dictionary before saying their first word? Of course not. A baby learns by listening every single day for months, long before they ever say a single word themselves. The baby hears the same words again and again, from parents, from siblings, and from the world around them. Slowly, quietly, the brain starts to understand the language, even without anyone explaining a single rule. Then, one day, almost suddenly, the baby begins to speak. Learning English as an adult works in exactly the same way, even if it feels different. Before you can speak English well, you must train your ears first. That is why listening is the first step, and it is the foundation everything else stands on. Don't worry if you don't understand everything you hear. You are not supposed to understand every single word at the beginning, and that is completely fine. Your job during these 10 minutes is simple. Just listen carefully. The more you listen, the more familiar English will become to your ear. Your brain will naturally start learning the pronunciation, the rhythm, and the sentence patterns quietly in the background, even on days when you feel like nothing is happening. Now you may ask, what should I actually listen to? The answer is simple. Listen to easy English stories. Watch cartoons in English. Listen to beginner English conversations. Watch simple English videos on YouTube. the kind made specifically for learners. Choose content that genuinely matches your current level. Don't start with difficult movies or fast, natural conversations between native speakers. Not yet. Start with simple, clear English instead. Remember, learning a language is not a race against other people. Take small steps every single day. Here is another important tip, and I think this might be the most valuable piece of advice in this entire video. Don't always watch a brand new video every single day. Instead, watch the exact same video 2 or 3 times in a row. This might sound boring at first, but let me explain why it works so well. The first time you watch it, just listen, without any pressure to understand everything. Simply let the sound wash over you, and try to catch the general topic. The second time you watch the very same video, try to understand the actual meaning more deeply. Notice which words you missed the first time. Notice the story, the flow, the connections between ideas. The third time, focus specifically on the pronunciation and the sentence structure. Notice how the speaker's voice rises and falls. Notice which words are said quickly and which words are said slowly, with emphasis. This simple habit, repeating the same short video with a different goal each time, can improve your English far faster than watching 100 different videos just once each. Why? Because your brain does not build real recognition from one quick exposure. It builds recognition from repeated, focused contact with the exact same sound, the exact same words, and the exact same rhythm, until that rhythm finally becomes familiar, almost like an old friend's voice. At first, you may understand only a few words from any given video. That is completely normal, and I want you to hear this clearly. It is not a sign of failure. After 1 week of doing this daily, you will understand a little more than before. After 1 month, you will notice a genuinely bigger improvement. Phrases that once felt like noise will start to feel like actual words. And after a few months of consistent practice, you will be surprised, truly surprised, by how much English you can understand without even trying hard anymore. So never give up just because you don't understand everything today. Every expert speaker was once a complete beginner. Every fluent English speaker you have ever admired started exactly where you are standing right now, confused, a little frustrated, but still showing up. The secret is simple, though it is not always easy. Listen every day, stay patient, stay consistent, and trust the process, even on the days it feels like nothing is changing, because underneath the surface, something is. Now that you understand the importance of listening, let's move to the second step, reading for 10 minutes every day. Friends, many English learners make the exact same mistake here. They think they need to read difficult books, advanced grammar textbooks, or long, complicated novels in order to improve. But that simply is not true, especially not at the beginning. If you are a beginner, or even an intermediate learner, you should start with genuinely simple English. Remember this clearly. Your goal right now is not to read difficult literature. Your goal is to understand English and to actually enjoy the process while you are learning it. If reading feels like punishment, you will quietly stop doing it, no matter how much willpower you think you have. So every day, spend 10 minutes reading. Now you may ask, what exactly should I read? You can read short English stories, written for learners. You can read beginner English books, sometimes called graded readers. You can read simple conversations, short articles, or easy news written in basic English. Here is a very practical way to choose the right material. Choose something you can understand about 70 to 80% of without a dictionary. If every single sentence feels difficult, if you are stopping every few words, the material is simply too advanced for you right now, and that is not a personal failure. It is just the wrong tool for this stage. Don't make learning harder than it honestly needs to be. Start simple, genuinely simple. As your English naturally improves, you can move on to more challenging material later, step by step, at your own pace. This 70 to 80% number matters more than it might seem. If you understand everything already, 100%, you are not really learning anything new. You are simply reviewing. If you understand only 30 or 40%, your brain becomes exhausted trying to guess at every other word, and you lose the actual story or meaning completely. But at 70 to 80%, something wonderful happens. You understand enough to follow the meaning and stay interested, while still meeting new words and patterns often enough to genuinely grow. This is often called your comprehensible input zone, and finding it deliberately, instead of guessing randomly, is one of the smartest things you can do for your progress. Now let me show you the best way to actually practice your reading, step by step. First, read the whole paragraph without stopping, even once. Don't worry about every new word you see. We'll just try to understand the main idea of what is happening. Next, read the exact same paragraph again. This time, look up only the most important new words, the ones that seem to matter for the meaning. You don't need to memorize every single word you encounter. That would exhaust you very quickly. Instead, focus specifically on the words that appear again and again throughout the text. Those repeated words are the ones you will actually use most often in real life, so they deserve your attention far more than a rare word you might never see again. Here is another powerful tip. Read out loud, not silently in your head. When you read aloud, you are doing three things at the exact same time. You see the words with your eyes, you say the words with your mouth, and you hear your own voice speaking them with your ears. This triple connection, seeing, saying, and hearing all at once, helps your brain remember English far faster than silent reading ever could, because you are building the word into your memory from three directions instead of just one. For example, try reading a sentence like this one. I want to improve my English because it will change my future. Read it once, simply to understand it. Then read it again, a little more smoothly. And read it one final time, with real confidence in your voice, as if you actually believe it. After repeating the same sentence a few times like this, it will start to feel completely natural in your mouth. You won't have to consciously think about every single word anymore. The sentence will simply arrive as one whole piece. This, right here, is exactly how real fluency quietly begins, one repeated, felt sentence at a time. Many learners also worry far too much about grammar while they are reading, stopping constantly to analyze every rule they see. My honest advice is simple. Don't stop every minute to analyze grammar structures in the middle of a story. Instead, focus your attention on understanding the overall meaning of the sentence. When you read English every single day this way, your brain naturally starts absorbing sentence patterns on its own, quietly, without you consciously memorizing a single rule. This is genuinely how children learn their first language too. They don't sit down and memorize grammar rules before they can speak. They learn simply by seeing and hearing the language again and again until the patterns become part of them. You can absolutely do the same thing as an adult. It just takes consistent, gentle repetition instead of intense memorization. Friends, if you spend just 10 minutes reading every single day, you will steadily learn new vocabulary, improve your pronunciation, and become noticeably more confident in English overall. One day, you will notice something genuinely amazing. The books and articles that once seemed completely impossible to you will suddenly become easy to understand. That is the quiet, patient power of daily practice, compounding slowly in the background until it becomes visible all at once. Now that you've completed the listening step and the reading step, it's time for the third and most exciting step of all, speaking for 10 minutes every day. Friends, this is the step that truly changes everything. You can listen to English every single day. You can read English books every single day. But if you never actually speak English out loud, you will never become a confident, real English speaker. This is simply how the skill works. Many students say, my vocabulary is too small to speak. Others say, my grammar isn't good enough yet. And some people say, I'm afraid of making mistakes in front of others. Well, let me tell you something important, something that might surprise you. None of these is actually your biggest problem. Your biggest problem, the real one, is that you don't practice speaking at all consistently. Think about it honestly for a moment. Can you learn to ride a bicycle just by reading a book about bicycles? Of course not. At some point, you have to physically get on the bicycle yourself. You may fall a few times along the way, but every single time you get back up and try again, you become a little bit better and a little more balanced than before. Speaking English works in exactly this same physical, practical way. If you genuinely want to speak English, you must actually practice speaking English out loud with your own mouth regularly. So every day, spend 10 minutes speaking. But who should you speak with, especially if you don't have any English-speaking friends nearby? That is a wonderful, very common question. If you don't have a speaking partner available, please don't worry about it. You can speak with yourself, and I mean that seriously. Talking to yourself out loud is genuinely one of the very best ways to improve your spoken English, especially in the beginning stages. Let me explain quickly why this works, even though there is no one else listening. Your mouth and your brain are two separate things that need to learn to work together. Your brain might already know a word perfectly, but your mouth has never actually practiced producing that word out loud, at real speed, in a real sentence. Talking to a mirror closes that gap. It gives your mouth the same physical practice a real conversation would give it, the same movement and the same rhythm, without the fear of another person judging you while you are still learning. Think of it like practicing a dance alone in your room before performing it in front of people. Nobody needs to be watching for the practice to genuinely work. Stand in front of a mirror and introduce yourself out loud. Say something like, "Hello, my name is," and then say your own name. Continue with, "I am learning English every single day. I will never give up." Now, describe out loud exactly what you are doing in that moment. For example, "I am brushing my teeth. I am making breakfast. I am getting ready for work. I am studying English right now. I am watching an English lesson." These simple, everyday sentences quietly build real confidence over time because they connect English directly to your actual life, not to some imaginary textbook situation. Don't worry at all if you make mistakes while doing this. Mistakes are a completely natural, necessary part of learning any new skill. In fact, every single mistake you make teaches you something new, something a perfect sentence never could. Remember this clearly. The person who never makes a mistake is usually the person who never truly tries anything new. So don't be afraid. Be a little brave instead. Keep speaking, imperfectly, out loud, every day. Now, some of you might be thinking, I don't have a private place where I can speak out loud without someone hearing me. That is a completely fair concern, especially if you share your home with family or roommates or live in a busy household. Here is the good news. You don't actually need a loud voice for this to work. You can whisper the exact same sentences quietly enough that only you can hear them, and your mouth still gets almost the same physical practice. You can also simply move your lips and mouth as if speaking, silently, while thinking the words clearly in your mind. This is sometimes called silent shadowing, and it still trains real muscle memory. Or, if you have a phone, you can record short voice memos of yourself speaking quietly and listen back to them later. The goal is never volume. The goal is simply using your mouth and your voice in whatever quiet way actually fits your real-life rate. Here is another powerful exercise you can add once the mirror talk feels comfortable. Every day, choose one simple topic to speak about. For example, your family, your best friend, your hometown, your school or job, your daily routine, or your biggest dream for the future. Speak about that one topic out loud for 2 or 3 full minutes. Here is what that might actually sound like, using the topic of your hometown, for example. My hometown is a small city. It is not very big, but I like it. There are many trees and a small river near my house. In the morning, people walk near the river. My family has lived there for many years. I miss it sometimes when I am busy with work. You see, it does not need to be complicated or impressive. It simply needs to be real, and it needs to be spoken out loud, in your own voice, using words you already know. At first, your sentences may come out quite short and simple. That is completely normal and expected. Please don't judge yourself harshly for it. But if you practice this every single day, your sentences will naturally grow longer over time. Your confidence will grow right alongside them. And one day, without any dramatic moment announcing it, you will suddenly realize that you are speaking English naturally, without translating first in your head. Friends, always remember this important truth. Fluency comes from practice, not from memorizing grammar rules, and not from memorizing thousands of isolated vocabulary words sitting quietly in a notebook. Fluency comes specifically from using English, actively, out loud, every single day, even when nobody else is listening. Let me tell you about someone who followed this exact routine, because I think her story shows this far better than theory alone ever could. Her name was Elena, and she had been studying English on and off for almost 4 years, mostly through apps and the occasional class. But she still froze completely whenever a real conversation started. She decided to try this exact 30-minute system, 10 minutes listening, 10 minutes reading, and 10 minutes speaking, every single morning before work. In the first week, she told me later, nothing felt different at all. The listening still felt fast. Her reading was slow and full of pauses. Talking to her own mirror felt genuinely strange and a little embarrassing. But she kept going anyway, the same short video watched 3 times, the same simple articles, and the same daily mirror conversation. By the end of week 2, she noticed something small but real. She could understand a phrase in her listening video on the second watch that she had completely missed on the first. By week 4, her mirror conversations had grown from just a few short sentences into a full 2 minutes of speaking about her day, without stopping to search for words as often. Nothing about her routine changed after that first month. She simply kept repeating the same 3 steps, day after day. But 3 months in, a coworker asked her a question in English during a meeting, and for the first time in 4 years, she answered immediately, without translating in her head first. She told me it didn't feel like a sudden miracle. It felt like something that had been quietly building the entire time, and it had simply finally become visible. Now, let's think honestly about the days when life gets busy, because those days will absolutely come for you too. Maybe you are exhausted, maybe you have a difficult day at work, or maybe you simply don't feel like doing anything English related at all. On those specific days, don't let the entire routine collapse just because you can't do the full 30 minutes. Instead, follow one simple rule. Do at least 5 minutes, even if you can't manage 30. Listen for just 2 minutes. Read just a few sentences. Speak just 1 or 2 sentences to your mirror. This is not about being lazy. It is about protecting the habit itself. A missed day that turns into a missed week is what actually destroys progress, not one single short, imperfect session. Never let one hard day become an excuse to quit for a week. Small effort on a hard day is still infinitely better than zero effort at all. Now, let's quickly review today's 30-minute routine one more time, clearly. First 10 minutes, listen. Listen to simple, level-appropriate English every single day, and remember to re-watch the same short video 2 or 3 times with a different goal each time. For the next 10 minutes, read. Read easy English material out loud, choosing content you understand roughly 70 to 80% of, without a dictionary. Last 10 minutes, speak. Speak English out loud without fear, whether that is to a mirror, to yourself while doing daily tasks, or to a real speaking partner if you happen to have one. If you follow this simple routine every single day, you will genuinely improve, step by step, week by week, without needing hours of free time or expensive courses. Remember the cup from the beginning of this video. Listening and reading fill it. Speaking pours it out. If you only do 2 of the 3 steps, the cycle stays broken and progress stays slow. But when you do all 3, every single day, even briefly, the cup keeps filling and pouring, and that continuous movement is exactly what turns knowledge into real spoken fluency. Learning English is very much like planting a tree. You don't see the tree grow taller in just one single day, no matter how closely you watch it. But if you water it consistently, every single day, without skipping, one day it quietly becomes strong and beautiful, seemingly all at once, even though the growth was actually happening the entire time, hidden underground where nobody could see it. Your English journey works in exactly this same patient way. Be patient with yourself. Be consistent, even in small ways. And never give up, especially on the days progress feels completely invisible. So today, make a genuine promise to yourself, right now, before this video ends. Say it clearly, even quietly to yourself. I will practice English for 30 minutes every day. I will not quit. I will keep learning until I become a confident English speaker. I believe that you can do this. Now, it's genuinely your turn to believe in yourself too. Thank you so much for watching this video all the way through. If you found this lesson helpful, please give this video a like, share it with a friend who is also learning English, and subscribe to this channel for more lessons like this one. Remember, practice every day. Stay consistent. Believe in yourself, even on the hard days. Your English journey starts today, not next week, not when things feel easier. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Goodbye, everyone.
Your progress doesn't end here. To continue advancing your English skills, click on the next video or explore the additional video that we thoughtfully selected for you.